can't tell you what a thrill it is to see something that you've made a long time ago survive, and here it is. One of our newest clients is Sarraf Strata. Sarraf Strata is like a condominium development in the U.S. One of the areas that Sarraf Strata has been very successful in is management of those developments, to the fact that they're managing developments that other builders have built because they do it so well.
When we originally opened, we had a rushed sort of logo. We were just wanting to get started, and we just thought, yep, that'll do, that looks nice. But as time's progressed, I thought possibly we could do something better. And then when the opportunity arose to work with somebody like you, I guess I jumped at it with both hands. Hence the rebranding start. We've spent, I don't know how many months sending emails to each other and trying to work out who, what, when and where, and it's been an interesting ride. I'm quite impressed with the way you actually approach your work. I guess after being in it for so long, I guess I didn't expect you to be so passionate about what you do. I've just been blown away. I think it's awesome. Sarraf Strata is a company that in effect looks after what you guys would call condominiums. We call them here units/apartments. If there was a block of 50 condominiums over in Chicago, us as the strata manager would look after the building, the common areas, the lift, the cleaning, the pool, all the things that all residents use on a daily basis.
What more can you tell me about your positioning in Sydney?
In the amount of time that we've been open, I don't think any strata company has grown the way we've grown, or has had as much market share or branding or whatever you want to call it. Quite proud of the fact we've still had clients that we met in the early 90s and they're still with us today. So strata is just another arm of real estate.
I'm attracted to clients who have a passion, and I see that your passion is giving back to others.
You know, I wanted to give something back, but I also wanted at the same time to be associated with something that was special, something that meant something to me. And I've always had a soft spot for kids. I've got one, and we chose Camp Quality because of the work that they do. I still think they're amazing. We set out to raise $1 million approximately 24 months ago. We're just about to crack the $700,000 mark. I have no plans on stopping, so it keeps me busy, it keeps me entertained, and some of the stories I get and some of the people that I meet that are involved in the organisation just keep you going, and we have a lot of fun with it. So I'm quite proud of the efforts that we've come up with there.
One of my earliest rebranding projects, you might not have recognized the logo from looking at the original. The new logo you probably have seen a lot, and that's why Norman came to us. That was one of his favorite logos. We're here at the Apple store, the new Apple store. It's a flagship store for Apple, and they planted it here in Chicago, right on the Chicago River. So you sit here outside and look at all the boats going by, and you turn your head and you see this Apple logo staring down at you. Makes me very happy. It just fills me up. I just love it. It's sort of like having kids everywhere I look.
It's the most identified logo, I think, in the history of the world. It's set to be, or already is, probably the first $1 trillion organisation. Got a very high trusted brand. To have the opportunity to work with the person that drew that, to be part of our company, or to have had something to do with our company, was just, for us, a dream come true. And I guess then I can tell my grandchildren that the person that designed the Apple logo was the same person that designed our logo.
The way we decided to humanize the Sarraf Strata brand was to make it warmer, make it more personable, be more approachable. The original logo had a lot of sharp edges. It was not all that inviting. It was very efficient looking, but it didn't really bring you in. It wasn't very warm. And we felt that that's what they really needed. Their existing logo looked kind of like a building and it looked kind of cold. We also wanted the main icon image to really stand out. One of the things that I thought didn't quite work about their existing image was the icon wasn't as dominant as it should be, because the signage needs to be seen from far away, high up on a building that's being built. And you can only see that if you've got a dominant image. It was important to keep some of the successful elements of the Sarraf Strata brand: the name, the color palette, and the dominant S icon. In this logo design concept, we've taken the original folded S and incorporated a second S inside, creating a strong structural logo design. The strong all-cap Sarraf name stands out to differentiate itself from all the developments that use the generic word strata in their logo, because there's only one Sarraf Strata.
It's a gorgeous day here in Chicago. We don't get a lot of these. It's not too hot, not too cold. The sun is shining. It's a great way to look at the architecture of Chicago. And like so many parts of Chicago, it's full of inspiration.
This design I really liked because it took two S's and it put them in a new combination. So it's connecting S's is what we call it. And we think that's kind of how a strata or a condo works. Everything is interdependent, and you're nothing unless the whole thing works together. And that's what we tried to do here. The thing I try to do with icons is make them as memorable as possible, because that's what's going to get your repeat business. So they see something like this, even if they don't get that it's two S's laying down right next to each other, oh, what's that? They'll notice it again. The reason that this one wasn't selected, although it was one of the finalists, is here again, it's got curves, and it's got curves and it's got sharp edges. However, I thought it was a little prickly in that it had a whole lot of like things coming out like that. And I wanted it to be warmer and more inviting. It isn't quite so inviting as I'd like it. It needs to be more of an open, warm look.
Well, we're right downtown Chicago, and right through the city is the Chicago River. Runs right through it, and in the last couple of years it's turned into a major eating and drinking spot. Very popular place in the city, and some of the best buildings are right on the river. The one behind me is called Marina City. It was built in the early 60s, and it's got a real personality, a real lacy, light feel to it. And it's right next to the IBM building, which is a dark, heavy building. It looks very strong and upright. So you see that there's different personalities with different buildings, and that's the same can be said for companies. A lot of companies have different personalities, and we like to know what a company thinks their personality is and design the graphics to match that personality.
This design is the design Norman chose for his new brand identity. It accomplishes one of my early goals, and that is to have a dominant icon that can be read easily from a great distance or very small on the corner of a business form. This logo is composed of four simple shapes, semicircles forming the letter S. The negative space in the heart of the logo forms a stylized building. The lowercase typeface accomplishes the goal of a greater degree of approachability. And finally, this elegant mark has star quality because it has such a high degree of recall, encouraging trust.
Hey Rob, thanks very much for the new Sarraf Strata logo, mate. We love it. We've loved working with you, with your team, and we've already got it on the hats, some jumpers, and the Opera House, and they're on their way to you in Chicago. So Looking forward to seeing you in Sydney, mate. Thank you very much. All the best.
And Norman, this one's for you. See you in Sydney.